Now you're gonna see how the band members of Bring Me the Horizon have changed. You'll get to know their ages and life stories in brief. I'll show you how all the musicians of this metalcore band looked in their youth and early career, and how they look now in 2024. Enjoy watching. Matt Nicholls is the permanent drummer and percussionist of Bring Me the Horizon, originally from Britain. He was a troubled child diagnosed with attention deficit disorder at the age of 6. Matthew became interested in drumming as a teenager when he was 17 years old. In creativity, he found an outlet for his worries about his parents' divorce. His first drum set was brought by his father out of guilt for leaving the family. When Bring Me the Horizon was founded in 2004, Nicholls didn't know how to play it. Due to the band's lack of experience, their first EP, This Is What the Edge of Your Seat Was Made For, received rather mixed reviews from critics. Written in a deathcore genre, the release was described as hard, brutal, complex, but never boring. Its lead track, Who Wants Flowers When You're Dead, was included in special edition of NME magazine called 501 Lost Songs, along with songs by Metallica and Marilyn Manson. In 2006, the band recorded their debut album Count Your Blessings. Its sound is heavily influenced by Swedish metal. As the members of BMTH commented on the record, when you're 18 you want something that sounds as heavy and brutal as possible. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out new videos on how rock stars changed. Let's move on. Lead guitarist Malia was at the origin of the formation of Bring Me the Horizon. He, like the other band members, has been interested in playing musical instruments and writing lyrics since childhood. At a conscious age, this developed into a creative alliance with vocalist Sykes. Lee describes the typical music creation process as a collaboration, where Oliver writes the basic structure of the song, and after Malia writes the main riff. Then they involve the rest of the band in writing the rest of the musical composition. The second studio album of 2008, Suicide Season, was written according to this principle. It featured a new sound born experimentally during a recording session. It reached number 47 in the UK chart in its first week of release. Taking inspiration from bands like Metallica and The Gates, Malia added notes of thrash metal and melodic death metal to Sempiternal, the fourth studio album by BMTH. Such a change in sound has gone in the band's favor. According to the music critics, it made their music sound extraordinary and atmospheric. Curtis Ward's musical path has been a thorny one. Since childhood, he has been hearing impaired due to congenital hearing loss. One of his ears is completely non-functional, but that didn't stop him from playing guitar. Ward took part in the recording of the first two albums of the British metalcore band Bring Me the Horizon. When coming up with the name, the guys took the phrase from the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, which was uttered by Captain Jack Sparrow, "Now bring me that horizon." It was in BMTH that Curtis developed his musical skills to an impressive level. However, in 2009, right during their Taste of Chaos tour, he decided to leave it. The reason for this, to a large extent, was disagreements with the band and rudeness with the audience. Ward himself explained his departure with hearing problems. He began to be greatly bothered by tinnitus. During this short break, Curtis successfully started a modeling career. He also worked in the car TV show Top Gear. In 2016, it was reported that Curtis Ward joined the hardcore band Counting Days. Australian Jona Weinhofen's passion for playing guitar as a teenager led to the formation of the metalcore band I Killed the Prom Queen in late 2000s. The band became popular in his home country after the albums When Goodbye Means Forever and Music for the Recently Deceased. After 7 years of existence, the band broke up, and in 2009 Jona was invited to Bring Me the Horizon as a rhythm guitarist to replace Curtis Ward. Weinhofen's professionalism was recognized by Australian Guitar magazine in 2012, which named him one of the 50 best guitarists of all time in his country. Jona participated in the creation of BMTH's third album, There's a Hell, Believe Me I've Seen It, where the musicians moved away from deathcore and went into experimentation with sound. 6 months later, Weinhofen left the band due to disagreements with some of its members and returned to I Killed the Prom Queen. In 2014, they released their third studio album, Beloved, and 3 years later, they took an indefinite break again. In September 2021, Weinhofen joined the band Destroy, Rebuild Until God Shows. Jordan Fish has loved music since he was a kid. He started his journey in a band called Worship. Jordan became a part of Bring Me the Horizon in 2013 after the departure of Jona Weinhofen. According to reviewers, the change from second guitarist to keyboardist is logical and fits their style. Jordan Fish participated with Sykes in writing the lyrics to the songs. The other members of BMTH characterize him as an avid workaholic, and this is what helped the band to make a big step forward. Jordan brought a new sound to the band, less harsh and more electronic. This is especially noticeable on the album Sempiternal. The single from this record, Can You Feel My Heart, is considered to be the band's most famous hit. After its release, the track reached number 5 on the UK rock and metal singles chart. The song is about recognizing your problems and working through them. The fruitful collaboration between the musicians lasted for a long time. However, in December 2023, it was announced that Fish decided to leave the band. The older Matt Kean got, the more interested in playing guitar he became. In high school, he switched from the classical instrument to the electric bass guitar. It was then that the 17 and 18-year-old boys put together the band Bring Me the Horizon, which became world famous. In the middle of 2004, they released their first demo album, The Bedroom Sessions. By the title, you can understand where exactly this work was recorded. A few months later, the EP This Is What the Edge of Your Seat Was Made For saw the light of day. It was in these releases that the band formed the foundation of their sound. In addition to the musical talent, Matt Kean also possesses outstanding organizational skills. Starting from the band's foundation and until the end of 2008, he and the vocalist mom Carol Sykes were the actual managers of the band and contributed to the growth of its popularity. Thus, BMTH went on its first tour in support of the Red Chord thanks to Kean's deceiving the promoters about the demand for his band. He also wrote to the organizers on behalf of famous musicians, asking them to take then the little-known band on the tour. Among his friends, Matthew goes by the nickname Vegan because of his food preferences. Oliver Sykes, or simply Ollie, has loved music for as long as he can remember. But like any creative person, he had to face difficulties in his life's path. Since the age of 12, he has suffered from sleep paralysis, which means that when he falls asleep and immediately after waking up, he loses the ability to move and speak. In late 2000s, along with his brother Tom and friend Matt Nicholls, he started playing in the hip-hop group Room to the Tomb, where Oliver produced CDs and short tracks under the name of Quake Beat. At the age of 18, Sykes became a founding member of Bring Me the Horizon. It was in this band that he fully revealed his lyrical and vocal talent. In the same period, he began to cover his body with tattoos. There are more than 50 images in his body. Ollie's youth was not an easy time. His problems with alcohol and other addictions led to problems with the law. This situation was reflected in his work, including his 5th studio album, That's the Spirit. The work had a characteristic departure from metalcore sound towards alternative rock. Sykes describes the release as a loose concept album about the darker tones of life, such as depression, and ways to lighten it up. The sound of the album is inspired by bands such as Jane's Addiction, Interpol, and Radiohead. Thus, The Spirit had high chart positions and was also one of the top 10 most important records of 2015. In addition to his music career, Oliver is the founder of the clothing brand Drop Dead Clothing and creator of the novella Raised by Raptors. As they say, a talented man is talented in everything, and this fully describes Oliver Sykes. Watch these videos to see more fascinating transformations of your favorite music stars. See you in the next video.